There are a lot of technicalities with any agricultural venture, and same for the mushroom industry. On this episode, we are looking at the medium through which mushroom is grown. We will look at the best ways of ensuring you optimize your mushroom production from this medium. Do stay with us, you wouldn't want to miss this episode. Welcome once again to Agri-Connect.
Thank you. You're welcome to the Mushroom Queen Farm.
Thank you. Okay, so for now, we want to know more details on what goes into the preparation of the media. What media do you use and how do you go about the processes?
Okay, thank you so much. So we use sawdust. We use sawdust with rice bran and also quicklime. These are all waste products from the rice meal, the sawmill, and also from the oyster shell. So it's purely an organic process. And as you can see, we mix the sawdust with the rice bran and also the quicklime. So we're using the rice bran to give it some sort of manure, and the quicklime to break down the ammonia content in the soda. So we mix this for about 6 weeks. After that, in percentages, in various percentages, and after that, then it turns into a substrate. Then it is that substrate that we move to the next process, which is the bagging stage. We'd also have to make sure that you turn it every other 4 days in order for those that are at the outer to get in, and also the inside, so that we have a uniform and even decomposition.
You mentioned that after you mix all the ingredients and then it decomposes for a while, you move on to the next stage. So what happens in the next stage?
Okay, so the next stage, after we've finished mixing all the raw materials, it turns into what we call the substrate, like I said earlier. That is like the soil for the production of mushrooms. So when you get to try it, after 6 weeks of putting it together, we move to the next stage, and that stage is where we bag it into smaller polythene bags, specially made for the mushrooms. So at that stage, you realize that we cap it, we put a cotton on it, and then we sterilize it. When we are sterilizing, because we don't want any living organism in the substrate. And it's very important that you sterilize at 100 degrees, making sure that every unwanted organism or material is getting rid of in the substrate. And if that is not done properly, that can affect the growth of the mushroom or the mycelium in the compost. So it's very, very important that you sterilize it very well.
Okay, so how long, you said it has to be 100 degrees, so we have the temperature. How long do you sterilize it? For a day, 2, or just when it reaches 100, then that is it? Okay,
we sterilize for 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
3 to 4 hours. That is if it starts boiling. When it starts boiling, you start, taking the reading up for 3 to 4 hours. That way you guarantee that you're having a very, very good substrate to add a mycelium to it.
So right after you're done sterilizing the substrates, you take it from when it cools down, you take it from the container and then put it in the room. How long does it stay for before you add the mycelium?
Okay, basically overnight or within 12 hours. When it cools down, you just add your spawn or the seed, as you can ordinarily call it. So when you add the seed, then that one too, you just pack it on the shelves, and that is where the monitoring starts. You begin to monitor to make sure that all the spawns are doing well on the bags. And some of the things that you identify and you have to take them out is if you realize that some have turned green, that means there is some contamination and infection. You take it out. So it's very important that at that stage you keep hygiene. Hygiene should be a top priority, because mushrooms are fungi in nature. They're fungi, and they interact so well with other bacteria and fungi in the environment. So you need to keep your door shut, or only authorized people will enter into the spawning room, and you use Dettol or any other disinfectant very well in making sure that the room is very, very clean. That is one of the ways that you can ensure success rates when it comes to the production.
So let's say, how long do you use one bag for? How many times can you harvest?
It's relative depending on the weather. If you have a very good weather or you have a very good cropping room, you can harvest as high as 6 times. Intermittently every week you harvest around 6 times. So one bag is expected to give you about 1 kilo of mushrooms, 1 kilo, which in our ordinary Ghanaian setting, you can say that the olonkaraba. Yes, so the olonkaraba, you can get 1 olonkaraba of mushrooms from just 1 bag of the thing. So you need to also maintain a certain level of temperature in the room. From oyster mushrooms that we produce here, we expect you to keep from 18 degrees to just as high as just 28 degrees. That way you're giving the opportunity for the mushrooms to do well. Yeah.
And then now, one very, very important component: how do you dispose of the bag after you are done harvesting the optimum from it?
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of farming. It's recycled. It goes to the vegetable farmers. So what we do, it turns into manure. So this is used for the farming of vegetables or any other thing that requires organic manure. So it's a green business, and we're taking the sawdust where usually you realize that for the disposal of sawdust they burn it, which gives a lot of carbon monoxide into the environment. And carbon monoxide is a leading cause of cancer in Ghana according to the Ghana Health Service. So that is what we're taking out of the environment and using it for a good cause. And the nutritional values of mushrooms, they contain a lot of immune boosting qualities. They have minerals, vitamins, phosphorus, and antioxidant, especially selenium, which helps to repair and renew tissues in the body. So as beautiful as you're looking, I'm sure that mushrooms are definitely on your table.
Of course, definitely. Okay, all right.